This is problem 1.18 from Francois Tardieu's Backgammon Strategic Concepts book from chapter 1. Here's the position. We are blue. Our home board's on the bottom right. We've rolled a double two, and we're going to look at three different possible moves for the double two. I'll give you my thoughts on each possible move. We'll look at Tardieu's analysis with feedback from XG, look at Tardieu's key points, his summary, and then I'll modify the position at the end of the video. Here's the first possibility. With the double twos, we can bring 1 from the 13 down to the 5 point like this. Cover the blot, make the important, valuable 5 point, called the golden point because it's so valuable, especially in the beginning of the game. Unstacks our midpoint, good thing. It passes up an opportunity to make an anchor on the 22 point, however, and it doesn't cover our blot on the 11. Second possibility is to move 1 up from the 24 to the 22 and cover our blot on the 5 with the 11. It uses our point on our blot on the 11 to make the 5 point. Steps the checker up from the 24 to the 22, mobilizing our back checkers, getting them moving. And it does split into white's oncoming developing blitz. Third possibility is to move 2 up from the 24 to the 22 and make the 4 point, 6 to 4 twice. This play develops both sides of the board. It moves both back checkers up to the 22 point for an advanced anchor. Makes the 4 point a strong innerboard point. Does leave the 2 blots on the 5 point and the 11 point, however. Here are the three final positions. Here's the move where we make the golden point, 13 to 5, before and after. Here's the play where we move up to the 24 to 22 and make the golden point, 11 to 5, before and after. And here's the play where we straighten both sides of our board, 24, 22 twice, 6, 4 twice, before and after. Take a look at the three final positions. Compare the features of each of the final positions, the pip count, look at the strength of each player's boards, look at the threats facing each player, and choose which move you think is the best. And let's look at Tardieu's analysis with feedback from XG. For the 24-22-11-5 move, Tardieu says splitting into a blitz is not a good idea. So 24-22 is splitting into white's oncoming blitz, not a good idea, especially when we're behind the race. It does make our 5 point, usually considered the best point, especially early in the game. However, there's always exceptions to the rule, especially if something better exists. Second possible move, 13-5, does make our valuable 5 point. It does unstack the midpoint, which are both positive features of this move. However, we have a better way of building our prime quickly, as well as improving our defensive position, which is the third roll, 24-22 twice and 6-4 twice. This play does straighten both sides of our board. We move our anchor up. We get another point in our home board, another good point in our home board. By making the 4 point, we lay the foundation for a quick, strong prime from our 4 point to our 8 point. And also, we're moving our anchor up from 24 to 22, which makes us immune, helps us to become immune, protects us from being primed or blitzed. Some of Tardieu's key points: 24, 22, 6-4 twice is a proactive play. Goes for a quick prime. If we can cover this blot on the 5 next, we'll have a prime from the 4 to the 8. And now we have an advanced anchor, 24, 22. It improves our offensive and defensive board. Usually we want to make the 5-point before the 4-point. However, in this case, making the 4, leaving the 5 slotted, lays the foundation to make a strong prime quickly, which will give us a decisive advantage whenever white misses hitting our blot, which is 22 out of 36 rolls. So if white doesn't hit our blot here on the 5, then, and we can cover it, then we'll have a prime from the 4, 5, 6, and 8. And hopefully cover the 7 too. Blot on the 11-point can be used as a builder for the 7-point, build that 7-point, or to cover the 5-point. And we're behind in the race, so it's better to build a prime and play forward rather than splitting our back checkers. We want to split and leave 2 men open, especially when white is starting his blitz. Tardieu's summary: in the opening phase, a play which improves both our offensive, which is covering the 4, and our defensive board, which is 24, 22 twice, improving our anchor, will often be better than a play that only focuses on one side of the board. I modify the position, give white a weaker blitz. Now I've taken those 2 white checkers from the 20, put them back on the 12. So these white checkers are gone now. So he's only got 2 spots covered here, the 17 and the 19. Much weaker blitz. And we have the lead now. We're up by 5 before the roll. We can start running. We can split our back checkers. Start running, one of them. Not worried about getting hit. In fact, we're almost inviting getting contact, so we'll have a better board. And we're making our 5-point as well. And now that original move, where we move 2 up, 24, 22, and 6-4 twice, is considered a blunder. So we should cover the 5 and step up once.